Oh yeah, I should probably take it off of this screen. So that it's, actually on the game. And the font looked a little bit strange, but I don't think that's the downscaling, I think that's just how it looks. So we get options for classes. They do not appear to change our appearance. But we also don't really know anything about any of these. Oh, and apparently we might be able to do something beyond that eventually. The noble sounds interesting. Ah. So the Rusty Charm is obviously the, Hello, Blip. It's obviously the, can't think of the Dark Souls useless starting item.
Playing dead, were you? Shame it's always the cowards that survive. Considering the fate of your men, I thought I'd do them a service. Go back to Valos. You have an obligation to their families now.
Given that we are somewhat green now, I would guess that we
Back so soon.
are in fact dead.
Better get used to it. This contract will resurrect you in service to me. Rest assured, your mind and actions will be your own. Though why you mortals insist in glorifying a self-aggrandizing hoax is beyond me. In return, you must do something for me. Give it time. For now, just sign here. In blood, of course.
One thing I am rather liking about this game in comparison to Carrion is that it does not capture the F keys above and beyond what is on the standard keyboard. So I can actually use my cough button. Instead of needing to hit the mute button. That's neat looking. Oh wait, I guess we do have an inventory. I would never guess that the menu button is used for the menu. Yeah, it's definitely very pretty. Oh, neat. But considering that it seemed like everything that I saw early on for this seemed to focus on its similarities to Dark Souls, which, you know, they are substantial. The aesthetic being good is not something I really anticipated.
Do you have a death wish? Eluding death gives you a god complex, I see. If you intend to squander your life, go right on ahead. I'm sure your men are eager to see you. But should you think twice, take one of these. They're restorative plumes. Use it to ensure your return to Vados. Consider it the last kindness I offer you. Compared to what lies ahead, I assure you it is.
I'm curious if those get restored per trip to the little rest point or not. Okay, that answers that. Oh, that is the dumbest looking kick. I don't think it's possible. Wait, was that? Oh, we have an actual parry. I don't know why I was not expecting that. Oh yeah, you can dodge roll into. Oh, that's actually kinda weak. How do we get up there, though? Suppose it's good to know how much these heal. Not as much as I anticipated. Looks like maybe resting also restores the... Oh, that's get on the platform. Resting might also restore how many arrows you have. Oh yeah, the arrows. That's interesting. I'm going to guess that if you die when you're doing that, you lose the feather. Or that's the only thing that kind of makes sense for losing feathers anyway. I don't really know what I want to do as far as build goes, and this is adequate for the moment. Oh, that's interesting. It also gives you iframes. The healing is actually a fair bit more powerful than the Dark Souls standard. Given that lots of times healing isn't really ever useful. Also no fall damage. Added greaves, huh? Oh. I apparently could make it up here? Oh, I guess the intended way was to go up through that little hole. Probably not worth it, given that we have a ability that actually helps with the halberd. Yeah, I suspect I want that more than just a little bit off screen. Big bird. of a helm, and I didn't actually get to see what that was. Not as good as, well, arguably not as good as our current one. And another different helm, which is just Vitality. Neat. Oh, it looks like it stops there. That's good. That was a neat enemy. I also rather like the, Damn. What I was gonna say is I rather like the, fact that it had a little preview for where the death zones were. I have no idea if this is a good thing or not, to be attacking this. It looks kind of like a chest. That's odd that it's only when you are above 70%. Like, ah, yes, as long as you don't fuck up too much. You, Ah. Use this free regen, but the second you fuck up too badly. Ah. Actually, we have a fair number of shards. I can get a few levels, even if they're wrong for later. Buffing up our damage is probably a good call. I think stamina is probably what I want more than... Yeah, confirm. Yeah, being able to do more than a single combo is definitely real good. Okay, so I guess that's
This one won't do either.
poison.
What happened to them?
An explanation for another time. Seems we have a straggler. 10 Sensei Mayumi, I trust you won't disappoint. For your sake.
You're a survivor, are you not? It is not too late. Return from whence you came. You're not the only orphan of war, but perhaps you'll be the last. Know that I do this to put an end to tragedies like yours. And if your sacrifice is necessary to my mission, then so be it.
Her voice is a little bit quiet. Ah. Ah. Damn.
I suppose it was too much for me to expect you to read the fine print. You exist in a state of limbo, neither truly dead nor truly alive. Death, as you mortals know it, is merely one facet of its infinite complexities. Make no mistake, you are in an unnatural state of flux, and it will take its toll on you.
Tragically, I don't think I will be playing this one for long enough to get to 88 deaths tonight.
What?
Or whatever it was Cats ended up
You're
with.
like them. Immortal. I sympathize with your plight. Is this another test? Just go home. For both our sakes.
The controls are a tiny bit stickier than I would anticipate. I suppose one of the major upsides of this, though, is that the shield does not seem to give a shit about what direction you are. Pointing it.
Your meddling will have dire consequences.
Talent points. Oh. I had somehow not actually paid any attention to this tree. I will never, ever get that because I will never, ever block an attack perfectly. Unless it's, like, absurdly generous. Oh, that's kind of interesting. That seems like a good way to actually reward people for using both weapons. Oh. I don't know why I kept hitting the wrong button. And that's the third for that lock. Huh. So, what is in this chest? Jesus. Boss rewards for not using any healing. I will never make this jump because I have no object permanence. But I can't make the jump after it, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think if I used the parry, that one wouldn't have been too bad. Oh wait, we have a way to go up and around now. Meaning I can get that blue orb. Oh, that's kind of neat. It is also almost comically generous. Oh, I'm not familiar with the acronym there. Or I might be, and my brain's just not. I keep hitting the wrong button for the kick. Also, I think that the parry is actually not quite as generous as I thought it was. I think I actually did just get really lucky on that. I should remember to actually try to use that finisher more frequently, because it is a really good attack. We don't quite have that strength. Oh, and I never did go to the right here. Crystal bomb, huh? Okay, so that... Oh. Yeah. Momodora was a very fun one.
Welcome, friend! Come, take a look at Fink's wares! You're sure to be pleased.
That helm is kinda nuts.
Bloody appeasement! I'll be back.
Huh. Wasn't expecting the batshit merchant to be quite so batshit. Can get a level or two. Oh, neat. Those words don't mean anything to me. Oh, neat. Wait a second. Probably want to save here. Oh, that's a neat looking crab. And we can't even attack it. Ah. Oh, and it keeps track of your deaths. Oh, that was unexpected. And if somewhere around here is a thing for not healing during that, we might be able to get it. On the other hand, if it also requires you not to go back and heal after, Oh. Oh, I'm good. That's neat. They let you do rematches, though. Presumably with a bump up in difficulty. It's me. And I hadn't noticed it before now, but it looks like changing out our cape actually did make a visible change on our appearance. That's not... I actually don't know where abilities go. Oh, and we have the strength for that now? Since I'm not using... Oh yeah, I can get one of these. I kinda wanted to get the... Weapon Master. That one kinda seems like the most useful. Ah, another, a large death shrine. I like how it's called Sanctuary, and one of the things we can see a whole bunch of already is a whole bunch of enemies. Seems like the healing efficacy is really what you get out of that. Oh, that seems... I see. So haste just kinda does a bit of everything.
Finally. I thought it might take another sunrise for you to arrive. Up here, in your world, the crows are my eyes. Past the city of Aldrin lies Kaer Shorai. Within its walls rests Cyrodiil's source of immortality. You must toll the 2 bells of ascension. Then find the soul vessel that will let you commune with the dead. No. Just smash the source with a rock. Or your head, either will do.
I appreciate the Dark Souls 2 joke.
You've come from Vados, have you?
I mean, does have aspects similar to Dark Souls. Dark Souls has nothing if not salt.
'Tis the season for bloodshed, my liege. That is a matter of perspective. Long for you, I suppose. Now, I have an assortment of exotic items for your perusal.
Oh, this nerd's here because we chose the noble start. Oh, I know.
You've strayed far from your herd, little sheep. Any solace you might have found here has long since fled. Just as the heavens abscond that pious night to her mutterings. If you believe in that sort of thing, I am Bast, emissary of Vildredor. Not that it makes any difference here.
Ah, interesting. So, he is the trainer for daggers. I'm going to guess, based off that there are specific trainers for each weapon type. Oh, need to, wait a second. Okay, can't jump down behind the firewall. Waterfall.
Fire, purge thy soul from these tormented lands. You are not of the Covenant. Then you know how futile our expedition is. Return to Vardos. There are already too many dead for me to bury.
I actually really like the voice acting, even if a lot of it seems a little bit quiet in comparison to how loud the rest of the game is. Ah, and she is the tome or... sword
Stirred the
trainer.
birds something fierce. You might just be the catalyst we need around here. Those gathered have grown complacent, but what's there to do when staring down death? Best we stick together in these trying times. Name's Jacko of Basilis. Peruse my pottery wares, if I may be of use to you.
I think the main thing that's been getting me is people who have helmets on are a little bit quieter. And I suspect that's intentional. It's just strange. Ah. I'm going to guess, based off the fact that we can purchase one of these, that each spot where it says need Covenant, or need Rest of Gaia, is individual. I had not noticed those actually doing damage. How much fucking damage did that do? Or... Okay, yeah, the gap between the boss class enemies and the regular ones are pretty clear here. Yeah, I really wasn't either. I kinda wasn't really expecting to get a
It's time for me to go.
explanation on backstory.
I'm afraid so.
I didn't...
What do I always tell you? That's right. Of course it is, Soren. Don't worry, my boy. I'll be back before you know it. And don't burn down the house while I'm gone.
Needs more salt. What is a question of belief? Who is death? A manifestation of your great history, correct? People tend to relive these moments in their waning throes. And yet, here we are.
Yeah, that's kinda neat. Let you, yeah, that actually was really, really good. Though I am kinda curious. What is the spoon for? I don't see anything where it would be particularly useful. Oh, the little... Does the mouse work? No. The little bowl right next to the tip of the halberd is steaming.
Cremation. One of your silly mortal customs. One rarely has any say in the matter. Not in the mortal realm, no. But as long as you're here...
I guess I do need a tiny bit of space in order to make a jump. Oh, that is just going to take forever. Fuck that noise. Oh, that's what killed us. I hadn't noticed the falling thing.
Go reclaim your phoenix plumes at my idol if you've lost them.
In this case, it seems like it's, oof. Pretty effective. Oh, Jesus. Didn't see that. Oh, did the enemy drop down after me? Okay, yeah, just... kicking is much more effective. Given that the parry is actually pretty precise. Ah, neat. Ah, there it is. And it's twice as strong. Yeah, let's just equip that.
Burn your soul to ash! I can see the rage in your eyes.
Yeah, I don't think that something tells me I am not going to be getting, darn. Getting that one back there. Oh! There is no reason to have the old ones equipped. That's good to know. That is actually fantastic. Ah. So I assume...
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Infidel, your devotion is found wanting. Our strength is infinite. You are only one.
The knockback on that.
Our strength is infinite. You are only one. This is where your spirit dies. Yes. Yes. Fight! Our strength is infinite. You are only one.
Jesus, this has a lot of components.
Kind is a pestilence, doomed to obscurity. Your arrogance ends here.
Oh, I guess that is actually intended for you not to be able to do it. Although it still cost me a plume. That sucks. This is where we do those. Okay. Okay. I wasn't 100% clear on how to, Okay, once I get a little bit of money, I'm gonna need to buy those. So what I was expecting was to go in there and to walk back out and to be able to, utilize these as stepping stones. Okay. Well, if they're providing me an option to have my horse, there's no reason to not have my horse. Back out to the right first. Oh. Okay. To the right is nothing. At least nothing that we can access right now. To the left is this. And... ah, yeah. I had not noticed that, healing apparently, or not healing, jumping apparently uses stamina. It makes sense. I just wasn't thinking. Damn it. Can we get there? Yeah. Bellblade, huh? Okay, so a sword for mages. Kinda neat. Ah. I don't think he had anything I was really interested in. And I think the only thing, neat. They actually have some level of explanation for their weird-ass stats and such. Oh, that does not look good. Okay. Just wanted to verify. Oh, if you hold down the jump button, you have a little bit of hang time. I suspect that was probably important to some of the jumps I didn't make. Wait a second. Okay. So I don't know if I just don't have the stuff for dealing with that right now, or if it's supposed to be fucking terrifying. Also odd that the enemy that was here apparently has no more interest in being there. I wish there was a map. Yeah, it's still not meaningfully better. Fortunately, these enemies aren't super aggressive. Oh, we have more books on the Phoenix, apparently. That doesn't seem like it should have worked. Venetia, huh? Yeah, with that big music tone there, I'm not actually gonna continue. Oh wait, we can't get back up, can we? Oh, there, fucker. Ah, and sells Venetias. Well, we can't kill him.
You know not what you're interfering with. Is it revenge you seek? This relic is a monument of wars long before the great expeditions were ever celebrated. What hope do we mortals have against such foes? How many more must die in the names of their kings? I will put an end to it all. Now, retreat or die.
Notable. It looks like we can't retreat.
Death, then. Come, I will honor your sacrifice. tastier than you know.
Okay. Odd that sometimes I can't get the finisher to work.
I will not suffer my father's fate. You alone cannot stop them. There is more at stake here than you know.
So I'm guessing that rather than that being some kind of reward for bosses you're not supposed to fight yet, that's more to try to get you a level or otherwise some level of improvement. Actually, one thing I do want to try. Oh, 15 int. Jesus. Yeah, that would be what if I instead dumped all the points into int? Yeah. With that plus 6? Yeah. That's interesting. I think that's still worth it because of the plus haste, though. But it does make me wonder if a build focused around that is probably what the game kind of intends you to do. It's easier just to get the horse on the right. Not have to deal with... Provided I don't make dumb mistakes. Easier to get the horse on the right. I've already forgotten where we went. Was it further to the left? Was it to the left and then down? I think that's where it was. Ah, light greaves. How do those compare? Actually not terribly, but they don't have the vitality, and I think vitality is probably the important thing for me right now. Okay, so I don't think I can actually make this one yet. Oh, maybe I can. Yeah, just needed to, actually figure out timing. Seems like the, sword has a little bit more, I don't know the term. Oh, that's the fight. Presumably there's going to be a death... yeah. There we go. Wait a second. Could I have gotten here much earlier? Did I just incidentally bypass this early on? Ultimately, I think this is, well... why can't we equip that? Is there some hidden stat requirement? Weird. Interesting that the Endless is here.
Dead, as promised.
Your father would be proud.
You again?
An immortal, but not by my hands. What curious deceit have you used to pull this off? No matter. I only...
But you said...
practice patience while the word still has any meaning.
You couldn't stay dead long enough for me to have this. Ah! I will bury you myself!
interesting that that knocks you out of it.
I will grant you a swift death. You must be quite the masochist.
Yeah, that was just me being bad. No.
I will grant you a swift death.
I do like the zooming in and out. I think that works pretty well.
I will not suffer my father's fate. Enough! Do you remember me, Gambit? Enough!
Ah, and it gives you shards based off of how low you have gotten them at your best. Good to know. The manner in which that death happened felt cheap, but,
I will grant you a swift death. You jeopardize the lives of innocents.
really all this has done is suggest to me that stamina and haste are even better than I had been giving them credit for, and I'd already been thinking they were probably the best abilities.
I will not finds the heart to
There's more at stake here than you know.
So I guess I just didn't realize that they, the second half of the fight was just going to be both of them at the same time. That's an interesting mechanic, though. The dodge is not quite as responsive as, say, the roll in Dark Souls is. I am giving myself a
You alone cannot stop them. Enough. You alone cannot stop them.
that was I think the right word is dumb? Using your own Dragoon Dive to avoid her Dragoon Dive is kind of amazing, though.
I will not suffer my father's fate. Enough! Enough! You jeopardize the lives of innocents!
Still, over and over again, you find the heart to face your demands.
Yeah, it certainly seems like it. That time I got, too caught up in trying to use the basic attack and didn't think to use the jump. But it's a matter of, I know exactly what I did wrong. The bit where I was trying to fight her... Well, I've already fucked this one up. Where I was trying to fight her, not right up close.
I will grant you a swift death. You alone cannot stop them.
Oh, I don't have the energy. Yeah, getting
I will not suffer my father's fate!
And still, over and over again, you find the heart to face your demise.
yeah, it's so easy to lose track of the fight. It's just giving you more and more plates until they fall.
I will grant you a swift death! Enough! You alone cannot stop them!
That was interesting. I think I got that good old frame perfect timing. Damn it. What? Why the fuck did that? God damn it.
I will not suffer my father's fate! You jeopardize the lives of innocents!
And still, over and over again, you find
That was neat.
the heart to face your demise.
Going up 2 inches just to get kicked.
What do you dream of becoming, Soren? I'm glad. But you know I wasn't always a soldier. You'll have plenty of time to figure it out. Just remember, whatever you do, give it your all. Okay?
Interesting. Okay. Gonna give this a shot. Against her, obviously.
I will grant you a swift death. Enough!
Of course, this wouldn't be so bad if, the major attacks didn't do, like, half health. I mean, for all that I bitch about some of the boss designs, Dark Souls enemies don't tend...
I will not suffer my father's fate!
Also, that's weird.
Over and over again, you find the heart to face your demands.
I've definitely used that dash to get iframes before. I'm not sure what is different about the kick. Well, actually, there's two things. There's the kick and there is the sword drop. Both of those seem to not give a shit about certain iframes. Which is more likely I'm just not hitting it correctly. Well, the kick may just not give a shit about iframes. End of statement. Based off of the fact that it doesn't give a shit about the jump. And if anything would give a shit about, or would be giving you iframes, you'd think it's that jump.
I will grant you a swift death! You jeopardize the lives of innocents!
Okay, so lesson learned. The jump is just useless against the foot. Yeah, I think I do want to be at full health going into her phase.
my father's fate!
Well, sometimes she just wants to be all up close, and I don't feel like I have a good answer to that one. Maybe the sword? Let's swap. I think the sword might be a touch quicker. And we still have access to our... we should still have access to our specials, so... Well, aside from there, using the sword definitely seems to be, helping with patience. I just need to remember I can only really get one attack in most of the time.
Jeopardize the lives of innocents!
Damn.
You alone cannot stop them.
If not for that shockwave, I would have been able to get off a little bit of healing, I think. In a weird way, because this is not three-dimensional, it, oh, fuck you, game. That is horse trash. That shockwave is just unfucking dodgeable. Which makes sense, it's meant as a punish, except if you're grabbing your fucking plume, it's kind of a just dick move.
I will grant you a swift death. You alone cannot stop them.
Neat.
Finds the heart to face your demands.
So this is the issue with the second tier plume. It actually takes longer. Presumably the higher tier plumes also take longer.
I will grant you a swift death. You alone cannot stop them. I will not suffer my father's fate.
And still, over and over again, you find the heart to
You
face your
alone
demands.
cannot stop them.
Yeah, I think I am, due to frustration, not getting better at that one. But no. Oh, I do have a way out, I'm just being dumb. It was actually where I was. Still odd that beating the Owl King didn't give us anything. Let's go see about beating the Bulwark, I think it was called.
There is a thin line between determination and insolence. Our strength is infinite. You are only one. Our strength is infinite. You are only one.
I had forgotten how much this fight sucks.
Is infinite. You are only one. This is where your spirit dies. Yes. Yes. Fight! Our strength is infinite. You are only one. Your arrogance ends here. Your arrogance ends here. Our strength is in the fury of the heaven. Only one. This is where your spirit dies. Yes. Yes. Fight! Your kind is a pestilence. Arrogance ends here. Feel the fury.
That's kind of how I feel about both of them at this point in time. Both just feel absurdly, repetitive. Like I should be a lot stronger, which I probably would be if I had gone for the thing that the noble is kinda seemingly base spec'd out to be. Yeah, that just doesn't take much damage. Let's swap those weapons back. God damn it. Oh, new one. I suspect we were supposed to go to the right. Or not. I do rather like the little death scenes. Oh yeah, they're getting rather like the oh yeah, this one. The other fight I couldn't figure out how to do. God damn it. I can't think of the name. The like 5 days of or 7 days of stranger things. Those also have some pretty fucked up things. Yeah, I can never remember, Oh, that's the thing that was really expensive. Oh, that's the same thing we have. Feel glad I didn't purchase that. Yeah, we probably have. Okay, that's getting to be a little bit horseshit game. So... yeah, we actually have been down here. It's... part of it was my fault. I am frequently holding the left trigger, and instead of hitting right trigger to kick, I'm trying to hit B. B doesn't do anything. Because of course there's no interaction between holding your block and hitting dodge. It might be for trying to get like a perfect block? Maybe? I'm trying to think of the directions I have available to me. And all three paths I can think of end in bosses. Or, well, there's a fourth one and it just ends in a locked door. I suppose there's also the path that involves getting a Crest of Gaian. For whatever this or the other similar thing are. Oh, it's +5. But what I'm thinking the actual thing I should do is start a new game. With the knowledge of, hey, the noble has a very promising start if they get that Spellblade and spec into Int. They don't have Int to begin with, but they have a nice piece of gear that helps them with that. Similarly, the wizard could also do the same thing. So it's tough to say who actually is better suited for that. But I suspect, at least to start, it's probably the noble. On the other hand, that might be better suited for next time, and I might just want to mess around with the classes off camera. So that I'm not just kind of wasting wasting time here. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Next time we will be starting a new character, but with the foreknowledge from 2 hours of dying. So, thank you for stopping by, Blep. And talk to you tomorrow.